Hi, everyone. Stephanie Cook here, Director of Couples Counseling ATL, and I am so excited that Liz, one of our couples therapists at Couples Counseling ATL, is joining us. Hey, Liz.
Hey.
Thank you so much for being willing to talk to us today. You're going to share a few tips, if you don't mind, about how couples who might be a little disconnected can begin to reconnect again. And also, if you've already got a good relationship, maybe how to make it even better. So if you don't mind, just go ahead and share a few tips with our viewers about how they can begin to do that.
Sure. Yeah. And thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So through Gottman's studies, when he was studying couples over a period of time, one difference he saw between master couples compared to other couples who were struggling a little bit is that the master couples really were only putting in an extra 6 hours a week of connection with each other. And so what he does is he breaks it down of what they're doing. And I really like it because any couple in any stage can use this, whether you just got married or you just had a kid or your third kid, or if you've been together for 20 plus years and you've just found yourself and your partner really struggling connecting with each other. And he really breaks it down, and I'll just go over all the parts.
Yeah, take us away. What can we start with first?
So first is, and also keep in mind, he created this pre-pandemic time. So pretend that we are leaving for work every morning. But so we start with a parting. And so it's just when you leave in the morning, let's say you're going to work or whatever you're doing. And this is just about 2 minutes each day, Monday through Friday. And you just talk to each other and you let each other know what's going on in your day, whether you have an appointment or an important meeting, or just a normal day.
So giving them an update, offering just a little bit, so that they know what's going on. That's great. What else can they start to do? I mean, maybe they're already doing that, maybe they're not, but what did John Gottman find in his studies about kind of the other things that these happy couples are doing?
Yeah. And so when there's a parting, there's going to be a reunion. And so at the end of the day, when y'all come back, so he recommends that you have a 6-second kiss when you come back home, which to me, just thinking about that just makes me anxious because it's a long time. If you sit there, yeah, cool. So some of my couples, they really like that 6 seconds, and some, when I say that, they like, oh no, thank you. And so you can have just a kiss and an embrace. Sometimes if you have a stressful day, I know I really like a longer hug. That feels really good. Just having that contact with each other. And especially if you're not used to having that type of affection with your spouse or your partner, that it's just having that hug is really great. And so you have that to look forward to. And on top of that, you have a stress reducing conversation if needed. And so if you have a stressful day, you come and you talk to your partner and you have the floor for about 10 or so minutes, and you talk about whatever happened. Let's say, you have a coworker who just did something really jerky, and you just tell your partner about it, and the partner, it's your job to listen. And you are on the same team as your partner who had the stressful day. And so, like I said, your job is just to listen. You don't problem solve yet, and unless your partner asks for it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good advice. And I know, Liz, your couples, the couples I work with, often if you're struggling, these things sound really nice and easy, but we know that they're not when you're kind of angry or irritated or annoyed with your partner. So, it doesn't have to be perfect, but leaning into some of these things, knowing that even if I'm not feeling it, it's still good for us, like a vitamin, whether or not we feel like hugging or feel like asking the other person, how was your day? It is critically important for these couples to feel closer, right? So it's something you can begin even if you're kind of having some maybe distaste for closeness, right?
Right, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get, and you can also adjust it to what feels good for y'all. And so also, if you don't have a stressful day, you have a good day, you can come and share that with your partner, and the listener is asking questions, you're engaged, listening, so
curious, right? Yeah, and that's a lot, again, it's a lot harder than it sounds. It sounds easy to just listen, to not problem solve, but most of us are used to just kind of getting into a rhythm. Maybe I'm like, you know, you kind of say hi when you get home, right? You go start dinner or wrangle the kids, or, you know, but that ritual really can be something, even if it's 5 seconds, that can mean a lot and make it feel a little bit better in the relationship. Now, Liz, what else? So we've got, you know, parting, reunions, stress reducing conversation. What else can couples begin to do to start to reconnect?
So next is admiration and appreciation. And so this can be done a couple different ways. And this is about 5 minutes. This is every single day. And so it's just communicating the things that you appreciate about your partner. So saying those thank yous, or saying that really helped me out. But it's just that communicating that genuine affection and appreciation. And so I said you can do it 2 different ways. So one, you can have it like throughout the day. So if y'all aren't at home together, it's fun to send like a little text message every now and then. Yeah. And just say, hey, dinner last night was really great, or thanks for getting the kids ready this morning, whatever it is. And that's what is great about that, is that you can talk to your partner and see what are the things that matter to them, of what they want to be seen and recognized for. And so you can really adjust it to your partner's needs. And like I said, so either throughout the day, or you can do it if y'all go to bed together, or if you're doing something later that evening together, you can say it all at once. So whichever one you prefer. And I always recommend that every single day that both you and your partner, one of you or both of you initiate at different times, genuinely saying I love you to each other. So we can definitely get in the habit of not saying it, or just saying love ya, or, you know, finger guns, hey, you're great, but saying I love you and looking at them in the eyes is really meaningful.
And it's a lot more intense, sort of like you're saying, vulnerable. It's a little bit harder for some people. I know if you were raised in a family like me where, you know, it wasn't expressed very much, it might feel a little kind of awkward or fake at first.
Yeah.
But we know from the research, like you're saying, that, you know, happy couples tend to build that kind of culture of gratitude and expression of love, not just keeping it in your head, but really saying it more regularly. So if it's awkward for you, don't worry. It was awkward for me too when I first learned this, but you can. I remember working with one couple that, you know, I'm learning things all the time. I'm sure you are too, Liz, like great things that I can use in my own relationship. One couple that was really, you know, struggling with the verbal appreciation. They did the texting, but they also had like a notebook that they would write these things down and they'd kind of pass it back and forth, and that works for them.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm sure people can come up with creative ways of expressing thanks and telling each other what they love about them. Okay, so we've got partings, reunions, stress-reducing conversation, appreciation and fondness. What else? What else is on the list?
The next one is affection. And so this is affection every single day, at least 5 minutes. And this is affection without the expectation of having sex afterwards. Because I know a lot of my couples, usually one of them doesn't like affection because they say my partner's only affectionate towards me because they want to have sex with me. And so it doesn't feel as genuine. And so having this affection and knowing that there's no expectations, sometimes it can lead to sex, which is great, but that's not the goal. And affection, again, ask your partner what they like. You know, do they like their head rubbed, which, feels good, I melt. Or getting their shoulders rubbed, feet rubbed, cuddling on the couch, holding hands, you know, whatever your partner likes. And so it's just, again, it's about asking your partner and adjusting to their needs.
Wonderful. And that really is the definition of emotional intelligence in a marriage, right? It's not just giving somebody what you would want, but learning what they might like and being, flexible like that. So That's great. Okay. Partings, reunions, stress reducing conversation. We've got appreciation and fondness. Now we've got some affection every single day. And thank you for giving the breakdown of kind of how many minutes that might be.
Yeah.
What's next on the list?
So the next one, so the last two that we have on the list, this is where the majority of the time comes from. So this next one is a weekly date night. And this, I feel, really falls to the sidelines in a lot of relationships because life gets really busy. We're really tired from work. If you have kids, what does a date night even look like? And so, but it's really important because it prioritizes the relationship and it helps foster that connection between you two. And so what date night can look like is, so one, it's 2 hours each week, and it's you put your phones down. They're 2 uninterrupted hours.
Wait, why? Why would I not want to have my phone right next to me on a date?
Because that's not engaging and that sucks. And no one is good at multitasking.
You know I love you.
Yeah, right. No, I want you to show me.
Right. No, that's so important. And you're right with young kids. I know you've got a young child. I've got 2 young children. It's really hard. It can fall to the bottom of the list, even if you love your partner. But these happy couples really prioritize this and make it time. And even if you don't have the money or you don't have family around or a babysitter that you can trust, many couples are very creative. Liz, what have you seen couples do? Again, if finances are an issue or they don't have a lot of family support, how do they still make this sort of time work?
Yeah, so you can have game night at home. You can cook together. If you have kids, you can wait till they go to sleep and kind of work around that, or nap time. So it doesn't have to be right at, it doesn't have to be at night. But you can listen to music, you can dance together, a lot of things you can do at home, go for a walk. What else have other people done?
No, these are all great examples. I mean, the one that comes to mind that a friend told me about recently is, and I don't know why I've never thought of this, is if your children are in school or they're in daycare or something, maybe in the mornings or daytime, like you said, you can just do a day. Like you can shift for a season. It's not nighttime dates anymore, or you're too tired at night. So you meet up for lunch or you go on a walk or, whenever you can kind of squeeze it in after bedtime. And a lot of people roll their eyes when they hear like, oh, I should dance in the living room with my husband or my wife, and those are things that most of us probably did, like things that we never dreamed we would do when we're first dating and falling in love. The problem is for a lot of couples, when you move in or you have children or you get married, play and adventure and silliness kind of go out the window for a lot of couples, and it's a real tragedy. So Liz, what would you say to couples that might kind of feel like, oh my gosh, we haven't done that in years. That would feel awkward. Like, I don't know if I can even ask my partner, to spend that kind of time with me, having fun or being silly or being romantic. What might you say to those couples that are kind of struggling with the thought of spending more quality time together?
If the 2 hours is really daunting, I say let's start small, or you can do a couple different things during it. I also usually recommend, there's a variety of like relationship building card decks out there. Gottman has one. There's an app. I have a favorite one. It's actually right here. I do this with my husband all the time. It's love.
Ooh, cool. Yeah. I didn't know that one. That's great.
I recommend it to all my couples because it has a variety of topics. It's individual, couples, family, past and future, as well as sex and intimacy questions.
Awesome.
So I do it with my husband, and those have been my favorite date nights.
Nice.
And that way, if you don't really know what to talk to your partner about, it has these, and they're not icebreaker questions, like they're meaningful, and it can allow vulnerability to happen in a safe way. And what I love is that you can go off into tangents with the questions, and then the conversation just naturally flows.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And if you haven't done it in a while, try to be kind to each other. If there's a question you don't want to answer, your partner doesn't want to answer, don't give them a hard time.
Yeah.
Or if they answer in a way that you don't like as much, try to be gracious, just try to learn more about each other. Because it is kind of hard if you have felt distant for a while to start doing this kind of stuff again.
Right, and you can start with like one card each. But also something that I recommend is, because a lot of my couples, one really likes going out and one really just likes watching movies or staying in. And so with date nights, you can alternate each week. And so that way, both of you get to do the dates that you want. So if one partner, date night to them is just always watching a movie, that's great. That can happen every other week. And then the other weeks, the partner who likes to go out or do a variety of things, they still get to do that. And so I like that a lot because everyone's needs are met.
Totally. And it's your job as someone teaching your partner like what I like and what I don't like. So if you don't have a problem with both of you sometimes jumping on your phone during a movie, great, more power to you. But if you're kind of like, I want to be cuddling, I want more closeness, or I want us to really, enjoy this together, you can say it in a kind way. Like, could we please have this movie time just us? And could we please put our phones away? Can we cuddle? That's going to be received a lot better than the, even on date night, you're looking at your phone. So there's a kind way to try to teach each other what feels good, right?
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. And
what else is on the list? Are we done with the list, or is there more on the list?
No, there is one more, and I had one more thing to say about the date night.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
So yes, one more thing. So also intentionally plan ahead for date night. So, say, hey, this Saturday we have a date night, or Sunday we're going to do brunch. And you can have those spontaneous date nights or day dates, like that's really great, but there's something more meaningful when you put intention behind it rather than like, well, it's Sunday, we haven't had our date yet, I guess we should hang out today. Like that doesn't feel as good as, I know, like I'm intentionally setting this plan, and it's a way to make y'all, prioritize that relationship. So
very good point. And it is easy just to kind of, again, not make it a priority. But if it's a priority and you plan it, it's more likely to happen. It's just, more effective. It may not meet your ideals if you're a romantic idealist and you just hope that your partner will surprise you all the time with these fantastic dates. But in reality, most couples are much more likely to have a great time together if they kind of alternate who plans it and if it really is intentional. So thank you, Liz. You said there's one more thing?
There's one more thing. So this one is called State of the Union. And yeah. So this one is a big one. And so it lasts about an hour. You do this one once a week as well. And this is where you explore the relationship what happened that previous week. And I like to have my couples start with something positive. So start with what went well during the week, and you can share additional appreciations that maybe you didn't have a chance to say earlier in the week, or if there's just something you're so grateful for, like go ahead and say it in there. And then after that, that's when you can explore some issues that went on through the week. What didn't go well? How could we have, approached this situation better? And so I like that because it keeps it in check. And so again, you're saying this is what went well. Here are the things that didn't go well. Also, if you have anxiety or you just don't feel like there's never a good moment to bring up an issue, this is the perfect time because it's not going to blindside anybody.
Right.
And it's better well received, especially, like I said, you're not blindsiding your partner. And so that can be helpful.
That's a great way to think about it. And it's especially helpful for anyone with the anxiety. It's a muscle that we have to develop. And even if you've never been modeled this at home, or even if, it makes you want to vomit thinking about bringing up the problems, it's important to know that these master couples that have been researched for years, all do it. Like they make space and time. If you're in a marriage or a long-term relationship, you're two different people, you're bound to have things that you prefer differently than each other. And it's your job to teach each other what's working and what's not for you. And you can do that in, again, a kind, complaining without blaming, we're in this together kind of way. So any other tips that you have for that kind of, I think that is the more difficult one for people to kind of start adding into their routine?
So I also recommend pair it with something fun. So if y'all like to drink wine, if you like to go for a walk or eat together, because it is not the it can't be real super easy, and like, it's not like, oh gosh, we're going to be complaining to each other. And so if it's paired with something fun, then you still have that fun thing to look forward to, even though it might be a tough conversation.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. That's great. And just like working out, if you're not a fan, letting yourself watch a TV show you wouldn't normally let yourself watch when you're on a machine. You know, there's a lot of studies, not just in relationships, but in psychology, about pairing some difficult behaviors, you know, like leaning into conflict, with some more rewarding sort of behaviors, like, you know, giving each other a massage or eating something yummy or drinking something yummy. So that's a great idea. Thank you, Liz. And anything
one more thing.
No, please.
So with this conversation, end it with, or when having it with your partner, end it with, you know, what can I do to make you feel loved this week? Or how can I best support, or how can I best help you this week? And that way you can also end on a positive note in a way, and then you can go on, move forward with the week with like an objective in mind. Like, you know, I want to do this for my partner this week, and that can be helpful.
That's awesome, Liz. Thank you so much for all of your time and wisdom. I love all the examples you've given us today, in ways that couples, I think, really can, you know, easily put into practice and start kind of shifting. Even if it's little baby steps, 1% shift, you know, it really can change the quality of the relationship and the feeling of closeness, or the positive sort of feelings you might have for your partner. So thank you again. And I hope we can talk again like this. This is really fun, and always love talking to you, Liz.
Yeah, happy to chat.
Cool. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.